All right, today's quick project, we're going to be changing the oil on this 2021 Nissan Armada. Couldn't find any real good videos on it. Here's the oil filter, a couple different brands, models. Here's the oil that we'll be using. It's the 0W20 Mobile 1 pack from Costco. It's a pretty good deal, so that's what I use for that. You will need an extra one, so this is only 6 quarts, so you'll need a 7th one to do a full oil change on the Armada, since it takes 7 quarts with the oil filter. And let me show you where the drain plug is under here. And there it is, right there. That's a 14 millimeter. So let's go ahead and get that off and start draining. A lot of oil in there. And here's the plug. And they always tell you change the crush washer on that, which is that copper washer right there. I've literally never done that on any car, and it's never been an issue. And you usually see them deteriorate almost to nothing, and then you can just replace it. But I mean, what's the worst thing that'll happen? You get a little drip of oil. Yeah, I've never replaced them, and it's never been an issue. Let's go pop the hood. Where's the hood release? It's right under here. Find the latch here. Alright, now to get to the oil filter, it's actually behind the skid plate. And the bolt, I think there's 5 or 4 bolts. And they are 13 millimeter. So there's 2 right way over here, way up front here. And there's 2 that I found way back here. There might be a 3rd back here. So let's get that removed. Their oil filter. Whew, that's a lot of work. All right, now let's make sure the surface here is pretty clean. Make sure the gasket from the old filter isn't stuck here. That's happened to me once before. Usually just give it a nice wipe down. There's nothing here. We'll unwrap the new filter. We'll dip our finger into the old oil and then just run it around the new gasket just to help create a good seal. Doesn't need to be super tight, just as tight as you want to deal with it next time. I'll just wipe all this extra oil. It's not dripping anywhere. So here's what I like to do with our vehicles. So depending on what it takes here, so we're gonna, with filter change, we're gonna do 7 quarts of 0 W20. Now I never have to look it up. I'm trying to remember it. I know exactly how much it takes. Here's what we're putting in. I'm using this Mobile 1 0W20 full synthetic. Here's a little trick too. So these jugs here, pour them like this. So this big hump facing down, you don't get the glug, glug, glug. See how smooth that is? Now watch if I reverse it. See that glug, glug, glug? If you do it the other way, you don't get that. So after a couple quarts, you want to check underneath, make sure nothing is leaking. Make sure our filter is tight enough, which that's really not going to get pressurized until you turn the car on. So we're going to turn that on before we put that skid plate back on. But the drain bolt, you should be able to tell right away. Alright, so there's 7. Let's get the cap back on. We'll get it started up. Make sure our oil filter is not leaking. And then make sure there's nothing going on underneath, and then we'll clear the no leaks. Let's go ahead and figure out, I wonder if it's in this. Let's go to, all right, here we go. Maintenance, reset, yes. All right, there we go. Okay, there we go, should be reset. Alright, so we're all done. The last thing is just to get that skid plate back on here. So watch me struggle doing that. And my flashlight's about to run out of battery, so this is great. So now that we're done, everyone always asks, well, what do you do with all this old oil? You know, we've got about 7 quarts here. So you start by digging a hole in your backyard, and you just start pouring that in there. You know, send it back to where it came from. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. So I just have an old cat litter jug here. You take that with a funnel, pour it in there, and then our local landfill takes these, and they have a way of disposing of old oil. So do that. Don't pour it in your backyard. All right, I'll see you guys on the next project.